Hey Sammy, glad to
Hi,
have you on.
Andre. How's it
Here.
going?
Going
Good
amazing.
to
Yeah, we
it's
were
good to see you.
likewise. We were just
Your
talking about.
background looks good.
Nah, yours look more professional podcast style. But yeah, we were just talking about like you just moved in, right? In the new apartment.
Yeah, sure. I just moved into a new place, about 45 minutes away from where I was, and it's nice. I like it. I
Yeah.
like it because it's darker than, or not darker, geez. It's quieter than the place
Yeah,
that I was before because there's not a lot of cars. It's actually very quiet, so I like it. I like the fact that it's quiet.
nice. I mean, yeah. Whenever I hear London being quiet, that sounds weird because to
Yeah,
me,
this is
London
more
is
like
always like
Edgewater is
chaotic.
sort of like the countryside a little
Mhm.
bit. So it's like chill. Whereas where I was before, it was an apartment and it was like on a main road. So it's,
Yeah.
a lot of cars, a lot of ambulances, like police cars, and it was just quite hectic. Even if you wanted to open the window at night, you can hear everything.
Yeah, like the noise and stuff.
So yeah, so I like it here.
Yeah, awesome. Really glad for you. Okay, let's get into it because even though we do have a podcast that I still have to release, which is Epic, filmed in Dubai, let's give like the people just a little bit of context in terms of how we met. We met in like London.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess how did I come across your page, Andrew? Um, it was totally like one of your videos for sure.
Hmm.
And I just kind of what I was doing back during that time was trying to find some people that I could get inspiration from. And I think I came across your page and I really like the style. This is when you were doing um the ChatGPT prompts, which were the ones that took you off.
Yep.
So yeah, so I think that's how I found you. And you then posted on your story that you were in London, and I'm like, I think this would be nice to meet and learn and connect and yeah, I was also new to London, and I think it's nice to get out. That day, I
Yeah.
remember I was like, oh, it's so far, but I still went.
Yeah, I mean that was a great meetup. I can't remember exactly like the place, but the place was nice as well. And it was
Yeah, it was super
yeah.
nice. I remember it was like a coffee shop inside some sort of venue. It was nice.
Yeah, yeah. And like that's when I kind of like found out about like the entire talk about like your kind of like program and your entire mission because I think that's amazing in terms of content and what you're doing.
Yeah. Did you ask me a question there? Did you say talk about your
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you can like give just a little bit a little bit of context in terms of like what you're doing with your brand.
Okay, sure. So basically, what I'm doing is I am making content around helping people how to scale their personal brands. I'm doing it in the Spanish market. And the way I'm doing it is through helping them nail. When I say nail, is nail their offer,
Hmm.
aka their sales message, their messaging with the one they're making content, their unique mechanism, their content strategy that goes hand in hand. It's almost like camouflage. So I became so good at that through taking the time. I didn't come out to sell anything until I knew what I was doing, how I was doing it, and to who I was doing it. So sort of like the who, what, how. And that, like, I needed to feel it in my veins. Like, I really needed it to be, so sure of the person that I was helping, like, know them extremely well. And then also nail down how I was going to get them through from A to B through a vehicle. And so, yeah, so I took my time becoming really good at that. And usually, like, you go out and you sell and you try an offer, you sell with one offer, it doesn't work, you go back to the whiteboard, you try it again, you sell out, you sell again, go out again, doesn't work, you go back to the whiteboard. That to me just sounded very daunting and I didn't want to do that. So I really did take my time with it, like I said. And so I became so good at that, like how to make a sales message that really does resonate with whoever you're trying to help and whatever you're trying to sell. And yeah, so when the moment I launched, like I sold out. And that was the reason why, because I took my time and now that's the offer that I sell is scaling personal brands through helping them through their messaging. And I can, yes, I am doing it in the Spanish market, but I also have clients that speak English, which is interesting. My first client that I sold my program to, Flow Search, was a girl in New York and she spoke
Mm-hmm.
or she speaks English. And yeah, so nonetheless, that doesn't mean that I wouldn't be open to working with English speaking people. And yeah, so that's essentially what I do. Like for instance, I have like my one-on-one calls that I have every week with my clients, and one of them was last week, and I really, really, really sat down with her for 2 hours and we really got down to nailing her messaging. And she
Mm-hmm.
now feels it. She's like, yes, this is exactly, and like, I want that reaction from them. I don't want them to tell me, yes, Sammy, it's good, amazing, thanks. No, like, I want them to be like, horny about it. Like, yeah, like, we got this type of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, so that was a nice thing to see her like excited that she really resonated with that.
Mm-hmm.
And then and then yeah, she's gonna go out and she's going to do a launch. I think I also nailed nailed launching because I had no idea what I was doing. And I think that after having after yeah, like there were a few things I did before launching, obviously to make sure that I had a good launch. But I had about 1,000 people on my WhatsApp group which were very, very committed, very interacting. Everyone's super obsessed with me. Like that's sort of like the type of thing that you want to do, like building a cult favorite brand
Yeah.
around you. And that's yeah, I think that I did a pretty good job with that. And then I launched and I sold out. It was a 2-day event. It was really meant to be one, but turned out to be two because people couldn't join. It was that big of a of an
That's
event.
yeah,
No, I'm
that's
joking. It's
amazing.
just my Zoom settings were off, unfortunately, so I had to do it again. But yeah.
You always learn from like small mistakes like that. But yeah, I think again, the your entire energy and like how you create content and this like flame that you have, like
Yeah.
constantly wanting to like show up, constantly like basically helping people now, I think that that like goes to show that the results are now like well
Yeah,
deserved.
sure,
And
sure, sure, sure.
I'm not even like surprised because like from the minute like we met again in London, I know we were talking about like the pre-launch kind of like
Yeah.
formula,
Hmm.
and I was helping you with that. It's like it's I knew from back then that whenever you are going to launch, like you're gonna crush it, because
Yeah.
that's basically what I'm telling people. It's like really with this content thing, what matters is you actually show up, obviously as consistently as possible, but you really like give everything that you could possibly give. You know what I mean with your
Mhm.
content,
Yeah, yeah,
like
sure.
sides of
Absolutely.
you, all of the sides of you, like tips, all of the value that you can, and then yeah, it's really about like being genuine, right? Like being yourself.
Yeah.
And yeah, it goes to show that it actually works. And like I told you, like I posted that story, like you're someone that inspires me. Like whenever I see you like constantly being there, I'm like, I gotta do better. Like I gotta work
Yeah.
more. So like having you in the group is definitely, like I told you, like if every creator would be like this, we would all, like, I don't know, it would just be awesome. So yeah, so
I
right now,
appreciate it, Indri.
what's your like kind of like what's the big plan? What's the goal for 2025? What's the vision?
Mm, I like that question. Um, so what I want to do is I want to build, I think I've mentioned this to you before, but I want to make my program and sort of like my space super, super, super exclusive. Like
Hmm.
not everyone can really join, and it takes a very specific type of person to be part of my program. And I sort of like have done that already at the beginning. Like we were taking sales calls and some people were ready to pay, but we could tell, for instance, that people would have very strong limiting beliefs, or they just wanted like the questions would be like, okay, like how fast can I see results? Like things like that. Like I just don't like that because it takes a different type of person to really want to accomplish something. And I think if it takes you 20 times, 100 times, then so be it, it took you 100 times to make it. So anyway, the whole point of 2025 for the remaining of the year is to get sort of like this energy out around the program, like make a very exclusive aura around it. And I'm going to open it and close it. It's going to be like, okay, it's open for a week and it's closed. Maybe we were like 3 days, 4 days. It's open
Mhm.
for a very short time. Whoever gets in, amazing. Whoever doesn't, then they'll probably get an opportunity next time. And it'll be probably closed, let's say for a month and a half. I don't know
Mhm.
that I'm still trying to figure that one out. So yeah, so number one goal is to build very exclusivity, make people super excited wanting to work on their projects with me side by side in my team.
Mhm.
I not only do it myself, I also have a team behind me that I insert them into people's businesses. Yeah, so it's not only me delivering results, and these are people that have worked with creators that make like 400K a month. And yeah, now I somehow got connected with them and now they're part of my team. So just continuing to build this exclusivity. And then on top of that would be obviously not selling with calls. I don't think that's really what I want to do anymore. And then aside from the money, I really do want to deliver results. Like I don't really care so much about the money because if I'm being quite honest, Andrew, like I'm doing this for the sake of feeling fulfilled with myself that I have helped other people get to what they want. I don't
Mhm.
really need the money. I have a husband that takes care of me, thank God. And I don't really need the financial aspect of it. And that's really I really am doing it the out of the wins that people get, like seeing people changing their lives and so I like that. And I like feeling like building a community that people feel supported. And long term, what I want to do is there is this girl, I don't know if you know her, but her name is Shelby Sapp. She's amazing at what she does, and she inspires me a lot because she's built a community of girls. She basically teaches them how to become closers. And so she has like a sales academy. And what she's done with her program is she's built a huge community. Like she's everywhere, and people have meetups in Tennessee and Florida, in every state, literally. And it's hundreds of girls like just meeting and networking. Like they put these events together on their own and they tag her and they're like, yeah, we're networking. Like she sells Academy, like made this happen for us. Like that's sort of like something I want to do. Something very similar, like build a community that is um it's somehow like supportive of everyone. Another example that I can relate to, it's sort of like what Iman does, which is like with Jelliman's Club, I think it's called, that
Mhm.
he has some sort of access to people, or sorry, he gives access to people, and it's like whoever gets in here are like insanely skilled, intellectually high elevated people. And so that's something sort of I want to build. Like I want people to get to that point too.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of want to be that connection. So that those would be like the two primary goals, like exclusivity and um obviously delivering results. Like I think that one of that is last but not least is totally like a really important point for me, that not only do I get results, but also like the people that I'm working with, their businesses have become my businesses to that extent that I'm taking it so serious.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, yeah, I definitely think this. in person is like the next level. Because like I remember back to our like back to how we met in London, back to Dubai right
Yeah,
after, like
exactly.
having those kind of like meetups one on one, like not one on one, but like with a group and in person. It's just like it creates something. Like there's an
Yeah.
energy, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
that you don't really get from like the group calls.
Yeah.
Uh,
Sure.
because
100%.
I know, we did like we're doing group calls inside Unlocked,
Yeah.
inside the inner circle, but like I just like think back to like Dubai, that sort of like setting in which you're with a group and you're doing like a mastermind, mini mastermind or something like a meetup. That's just awesome. So yeah,
Yeah,
love that you
absolutely.
love that you also have that vision, because like for me a huge thing is like I want us, for example, and this is like the big plan for 2025, like the second half,
Hmm.
like do an actual like events with like members from the inner circle, like
Yeah.
summer. My biggest like two hubs are going to be like Dubai and Miami. So
Hmm.
if we can do one in, like, for example, Dubai, like boom, 10 people meet up there, like whole masterminds, organized, like that's, I don't know, that to me is like the next level, right?
Yes.
As Yeah, and I think you and I, like, we have kind of like we share this, to your point, like I don't just do this for the money.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
we share this like passion really for like helping and like actually
Yeah.
like, you know, teaching people how to do stuff.
Hmm.
Like I was telling you, and this is like genuine, because like I'm so excited whenever I'm like testing something. Let's say I'm quote unquote failing or doing some mistakes, and then I'm learning. I'm so excited to share that with the people, obviously including with you. Like, hey, Sammy, I just learned this. Boom,
Yeah,
like, take it.
exactly.
You can,
Exactly.
so I think that's the really awesome part about like what we're doing. But like I wanted to ask you in terms of like what because I obviously, everyone knows here, like I like to talk a lot, so like sometimes I talk too much. But I'm curious, like, because this would help me also in terms of like the future, the content that I'm gonna do in the future.
Mhm.
Like, what has been like the thing that kind of like resonated the most with you, like from the content, from what we're doing, anything that I said that kind of like.
Sure, many things actually. Many, many things. One of the biggest thing that I really do, I can tell you, I can walk away with this and I can run with it, is the fact that you include sort of like the energetics of running a digital business. It's not about I can give you all the strategy in the world, but it doesn't work like that if you don't have your inner state aligned, if your thought patterns, if your feelings, if your inner narrative doesn't align with what it is that you're trying to achieve. And I think that that is a very nice concept that you do have, Andre, inside the program that you have unlocked creators.
Nice.
Um, yeah, I really like that. I like the aspect of obviously it goes much into other levels are amazing. They have the concepts and the strategies and everything, but I'm saying like the fact that you have this available to people, because I think that's a whole different service. Like if you want to work on your, sort of like your mindset and how you're
Hmm.
going about
Yeah.
life, I think that's why we have mental coach or like mental coaches or
Yeah,
what's
yeah, yeah.
what's the thing like personal development that like it's a whole different category. So I really
Whole
do
different
like
thing.
that you've done that because it sort of like unlocks your mentality into what you can achieve. And not only that, but you genuinely kind of bring in the concept, but you don't just bring it in, you sort of like bring it down to earth, which is nice.
Hmm.
Like it's actually like applicable into your life, into your business. And I really do like that for
Awesome.
sure. Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing, like I told you, like your energy and your charisma, your entire, like the way you are, your inner state basically attracts the clients, attracts the right
Yeah.
clients. And this is what we got to work on. Because like I had this moment, I realized like this was last year when I was struggling with like the initial version of my program. I had this moment when I was like, wait a minute, why am I not attracting the kind of people that I want to work with? but then I had to go back to the drawing board and being like, wait a minute, is my actual inner state? Because I think as coaches, as content creators, we can point fingers and say, oh, it's because the algorithm or it's because this, that.
Yeah.
But to your point, it's something like energetic, like something like
Yeah, for sure. It's more like
beyond. Yeah.
it's really like everything has, I don't want to get crazy here, but like if you take a microscope and you were to zoom in on this pen, you will see the tiny, 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 tiny little atoms just vibrating. And that
Hmm.
vibration is what makes up this matter, this pen. So everything, even our words, have a vibration, even if it's a sound wavelength that creates the sound, everything has a vibration. So when you have an energy to yourself, like let's say, um, whether it's an energy pull of negativity or positivity, that's sort of like what you have been programming into your mind to see. It's like your reticular activating system. That's the only thing that you will start to see. Like everything negative, you start to see, like, oh, this water bottle is like, I don't know, like just a random example, but every single negative thing. Whereas if you were to flip on the good side of things and you start practicing, and it's a habit, it's not something that is easy. Even for me, it's not something that you do that it just comes naturally to you. No, the answer is not. It's sort of like working out. Like your brain, it's a muscle that you work out and you become better at it. You can't expect yourself to, oh, I'm just not like that and that's not who I am. No,
Hmm.
you can actually become that. You really could. It's just really you just have to tune in with that. And if it means taking one thing at a time, like your inner narrative, working on your child trauma, like that's the biggest thing. Like sometimes how you show up online, how you show up with people, how you are, how you behave, it's really a friction that has been holding you back from
Yeah.
something connected to the past. So yeah. So aside from that, I think another thing that you've been really good at the beginning when I met you, you mentioned you really did help me with I really didn't have an idea of how the heck I was going to like how to present, how to like do like a pre-warming of like my audience, how to get them like super connected to me. I didn't really know that. And I think it was nice to have you give me some clarity when you were in London. Um, it was a nice breakdown of, you know, type of content that you would post
Hmm.
before you do a launch. Like warming people, it was sort of like a scale, like taking them from cold to hot, and what content you should be posting, your emails, your stories, your reels, like how to connect all of these that they all synchronize on all different platforms because for someone to buy, you need to be touching them on multiple points of communication channels. So I think that was really nice having that insight of of how to do a launch, how to get ready for a launch. And then
Hmm.
obviously like as they got closer, I got a little bit more into detail and I really, really got into it. And it was amazing. It was seriously an amazing, it was total success for me, thank God.
Yeah.
Um, and then yeah.
Awesome. I mean, yeah, you're. I feel like this is just the beginning. Like you barely scratched the surface. Like 2025, you're gonna absolutely crush it.
Thank you,
So
I
yeah,
agree.
just your entire journey, to me again is super inspiring. Like I just love to anyone watching. Like I love the most is like yeah, personal wins are cool, right? They're awesome, obviously.
Yeah.
But if I get to like just help just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit, right? And I get that to see that person like succeed and actually like inspire me, that to
Mhm.
me is the biggest win. Because it's
Yeah.
like we're in this. That's what I tell people. Like, are you in this for like just the money, or are you in this like for the impact? And if we are here for
Yeah,
like the impact, these are like the biggest wins. Like, yeah, for
for
example,
sure.
like for you, if you ever like happen to doubt yourself or whatever, just like remind yourself of the impact that you've already had. on me, on like all of the people that you're
Yeah.
helping.
Yeah.
Obviously, like that's the thing we were talking about, like the Zoom mistakes and stuff. Like I made those mistakes as well, like with Zoom crashing out or things like that. But that's just, that comes with the dinner. It's just small things, but yeah, the impact is honestly everything. And yeah, you're definitely like on the right track. And I don't know, I'm just like really grateful to be a part of like your journey in a way.
Oh, thank you.
And I think
Likewise.
yeah,
I feel the
yeah.
same way.
Yeah, what we're gonna build this year, we were talking about some things in the background that are gonna be crazy. I do need
Yes.
to give you like some updates in private about that app we were talking about. But yeah, coming soon for everyone watching. But yeah, I love it. Again, super happy for what you've been doing, and I don't know, super proud and inspired.
Oh, I appreciate it. I really
Likewise.
do, Andrew.
Okay, so where can people find you, and we can wrap it up?
Okay, so if anyone wants to connect, it would be amazing to hear from you. Don't be shy. And
Yeah, Sammy's
you can,
not gonna bite, definitely. Like I'm the
yeah,
serious
no.
one in here, she's
Let me see. My Instagram is Sammy.Brutman. So sort of how you see it here on the screen,
yep.
Sammy.Brutman. That's it. Also YouTube, you can find me. But like I said, my content is in Spanish. So anyone who watches this and speaks Spanish, um, would be amazing to go over there and learn some other concepts. The nice thing is that, multiple creators do have sort of like their own thing, and it's nice to see what they're doing, what you can learn, you know. The only thing is that it's hard to come across creators that do a good job.
Yeah.
And yeah, you just have to be careful with what content you're consuming from who and what they're teaching you.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
yeah.
But like that's why I also posted on my story then, like anyone really, guys, like anyone in the Spanish market, go connect with Sammy because she's awesome. So yeah.
Yes, I love it.
Awesome. Cool. Let's wrap it up, and I'll see you somewhere on the map. Whether it's Dubai, London, Miami, I don't know, we'll see. But can't wait for the next meetup.
Yes, 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 for sure.
Awesome.